What's going on, you guys? Froster, and I'm back with another video. In today's video will be the Ezreal jungle guide as promised. I said I was going to go from number 1 to number 6 and then honorable mention. Ezreal was first, he was the number 1 in my list, so here's the guide. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up below, it helps me out a lot. And also, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments below as well. I will do my best to answer them for you. Now, let's get right into the runes. This is the rune page I use on Ezreal. I go for flat attack damage in reds, flat armor in seals, then flat attack speed in quints, and then flat CDR in glyphs. I am going everything flat. You want to be doing as much damage as you possibly can in the early game. That's the whole reason behind this rune page. So, flat attack damage, as much damage as possible. Flat armor, take as little damage as possible. Attack speed for more auto attacks, more damage output, just all about damage. And this is the only thing that might confuse people a little bit. You want to get flat CDR, even though you're gonna overcap your CDR with this. You gotta think about it like this. You have 7.5 flat CDR early game, combined with a blue buff, will be 17.5 CDR on level 2. That's the key here. So much CDR that early on will give you more Qs, more E's, more damage output in general. That's the reason you want it. Even though you overcap it, it's gonna give you the most power early game. Magic resist is not gonna help you much. Like, sure, you'll take a little bit less damage, but you will also do way less damage because you can Q maybe like 2 Qs less in a fight. Like, it's that much of a difference. It really makes out a lot of damage output going for these. So that's why you definitely want to go for the flat CDR ones, even though you overcap your CDR with the build. Like, you're gonna get jungle item for 10%, and your Triforce will also give you like 20%. And then like a Duskblade will give you like an extra CDR, I think, as well. Like, it's all, like, you will overcap it, but it doesn't matter because you need the CDR early to deal as much damage as possible. Then over to the masteries. This is the mastery page I use on Ezreal. I go for attack speed in this one. It is in a toss-up between these two because you can also go for sorcery, you can go for attack speed, it really doesn't matter. Attack speed will just give you more auto attack, sorcery will give you a little bit of a damage increase on your Qs. I personally prefer more auto attacks because it also helps you a lot with just getting through your jungle camps a little faster with all the auto attacks you can put out. Your passive will also give you a lot of attack speed, but hey, it's kind of whatever you want, really. It doesn't really matter between these two. Then here, Fresh Blood, all the extra early damage. Fresh Blood early damage, this early damage, this early damage, that's the reason you're taking this. Then in this tree, you go for this because Ezreal is completely single target, so this will help a lot in just clearing your camps faster. Then here, you want your red buff as long as possible. So buffs that, like, the increased buff duration is big. Red buff for as long as possible. That's why you pick this. Now here, Merciless, more damage. Greenfather's Gift, faster jungle clear, more damage. Just all about early game damage focused. Here you want to get that extra lethality for more damage. Again, it just keeps being more damage. Like, you focus everything in your runes and masteries to do as much damage as possible in the early game. Because that's really where you're going to abuse, like, your strength. And then Storm Raiders is here for, like, you could pick Thunderlords if you want, I guess, for more damage output faster, but Storm Raiders is there to chase people. So you have Storm Raiders combined with a red buff, and it's really impossible for them to get away from you. You also have your E to chase, like, flashes and all that stuff. So Storm Raiders is essential in Ezreal to be able to chase people down really early on, because you're gonna proc Storm Raiders with like an auto attack Q on like level 2. Like, it's big, you can proc it really easily. So that's why you go for Storm Raiders. And then moving on to the item build for Ezreal. Right here, you want to start with the Hunter's Machete and the Refillable Potion every single game. Hunter's Machete is the best thing to start with on Ezreal because it works with your Q, so every time you auto-attack Q, you're getting that extra damage from the Hunter's Machete. The basic attacks deal 25 bonus damage on hit. Like, you use auto-attack Q, it's extra 50 damage. It speeds up clearing your jungle a lot, and you definitely want this Hunter's Machete for sure. Now, you're also going to get a blue really fast, so you don't have to worry too much about the other jungle items since, well, you'll be fine on mana with your blue buff. Now, moving into the first thing you obviously want is the Warrior Red Smite. The first item you want to get as soon as you back is either like a double longsword if you have 700 gold exactly, or just straight up Red Smite. Red Smite is big. Red Smite is an ignite and an exhaust in one ability pretty much. It's really good. Like, it will allow you to win a lot of 1v1 situations pretty easily. But this is the real item you just want to rush. It's pretty cost effective as well, so you definitely just want to be getting it. Now, in between, you might want to pick up some regular boots if you have some spare money laying around, because just having more movement speed is obviously very, very good. As far as boots go on Ezreal, it it's kind of whatever. Like, it's either Merc Threats or Ninja Tabis, really. It's just be as tanky as possible against certain situations, or have, like, Tenacity against, like, hard CC with Ninja, like, with Mercury Threats, I mean. So there's a lot of situations with this one. It's just whatever boot fits best. So it's like either one of these two. Let's just say, like, most games you'll go for Ninja Tabis, because most games Ninja Tabis is overall better. So yeah. Now, moving into the next item, the big core damage item, if you're really doing well, is Duskblade. But this is also a situational item. You gotta think about it like this. If the enemy team has a lot of tanks, and like one squishy target, for example, or like maybe two, then getting a Duskblade early, if you're not snowballing hard, like if you're not like 6-0, 7-0, something like that, 5-0, and like 8 minutes in game, then getting Duskblade isn't worth it, because against a lot of tanks, you won't be able to get your Duskblade, like your efficiency out of Duskblade. At that point, you might as well go for a Triforce instantly, and then go build into a Blade of the Rune King, because that's gonna deal more damage overall. As soon as you get your Blade, you're gonna be dealing with tanks a lot better, and Duskblade doesn't really deal that much damage to tanks. So if you're not doing too hot, then Duskblade is not an item you want to go for against a lot of tanks in the enemy team. But if you're facing a lot of squishies, for example, and like one tank, then Duskblade is pretty much always a really good item. Even if you're not doing that good, Duskblade will be a really good item to actually pick up and then just use to just straight up burst like all their squishies down really fast. This item on Ezreal is really good. You also have to remember that you need to be able to proc it. So you gotta keep walking out of vision range, into vision range, out of vision range, into vision range to be able to proc the Duskblade effect and get the extra damage on it. So that's pretty much the situation behind Duskblade. You can pick it up early in most games to just completely walk over the enemy team, especially if you're doing well. Then it's just insane. Like, that item is insane if you're doing well. You can snowball so hard. Now, most games, this is going to be your core. Again, if you're facing a lot of tanks, then don't pick up a Duskblade. Just go into Triforce, into Blade of the Rune King. It's much more efficient at that point. So this is your core, and at that point, it just comes down to items. Like, Triforce is an item you're going to have to buy every single game on Ezreal. It is so good on Ezreal, like, it gives you everything you could possibly want. Extra movement speed is also very beneficial. Just pick it up. Like, there's not much else to say about it. Either you do it instead of Duskblade right here, or you pick it up after Duskblade. You have to just get it. The item is really good. Now, at this point, there are a lot of options. So, let's just put it this as core, actually. Right here, Duskblade, I'll take it out. Duskblade is an optional item. Triforce is definitely the core. So, this is the core you want to get every single game. Yeah, of course, you switch out your boots if you have to, but hey. So, there are options. Duskblade is one of them. Blade of the Rune King is another one. Then, like, a Mortal Reminder, or, like, the other one. It's just... I just use Mortal Reminder only right now. You can pick the other one against, like, a lot of tanks and shit, but I'll get into that. And then, also, you have Guardian Angel. This is, like, the main core items you want to pick from at this point, because... Right here, if you would have a Duskblade with the, like, you picked up a Duskblade early on, you were snowballing, you build into a Triforce. Right after Triforce, you have a couple of options. If they do have those tanks that I was talking about earlier... Like, they have those two tanks, but you're snowballing. You can, after Triforce, pick up a Blade of the Rune King into that tank. You'll be able to deal a lot more damage to them. You'll also have a lifesteal item, which is really important. Blade of the Rune King will sustain your health a little bit because of the 12% lifesteal. Plus, you have the active, of course, to help kite, like, against tanks. Because most tanks have a lot of CC, so then Blade of the Rune King will be very beneficial. If they won't have those tanks, if you're playing against a bunch of squishies, then Blade of the Rune King pretty much doesn't become an item anymore. At that point, you can just pick up, like, a Guardian Angel with, like, a Mortal Reminder, and have a full build that way. This pretty much means that this item will give you, like, armor pen against maybe their one tank they might have, or, like, a Kokma that is, for example, has, like, Ninja Tabai with maybe a GA in some situations. It's gonna help you increase that damage. Mortal Reminder is definitely a good item. Also, it prevents them from lifestealing. If they're squishy champions, then there's a high chance that they will... rely on lifesteal to sustain themselves, like an AD carry, for example. They heavily rely on lifesteal to sustain themselves, so Mortal Reminder is really good against those. But if they don't build any armor, then Mortal Reminder obviously isn't that great, and at that point you might as well pick up something like a Bloodthirster, or just anything like high damage. There's a lot of situations with these items. But against squishy teams, like, this is most of the time an item build I would look to go for, with the Duskblade combination with the GA, because... Against squishy champions, you have to remember that most squishy champions are high damage champions, like all AP mages pretty much, and then Zed, you have those types of champions. If you have Guardian Angel against those, you'll have a second life, which allows you to play a little bit more risky and go for, like, more aggressive plays and still be able to survive it. Guardian Angel also gives you that nice attack damage, which means that you're going to be dealing more damage in the process as well. So this is overall a pretty good item to pick up. So this is like pretty standard against squishy team comps. If you're like facing heavy tanks, I probably won't pick up a Guardian Angel, because then you should be able to position yourself a little bit better to stay out of like CC and just keep poking down tanks, and you're not gonna be that you're not risking that much in those positioning type of scenarios. To that point, you can just get away with not going for it, and then this becomes, of course, the other Lost Whisper, because against tanks, against a lot of tanks, you will definitely want the Lord Dominic's Regards in combination with your Blade of the Rune King to just straight up walk through the entire enemy team. And then against a lot of tanks, this becomes the build. So there's a lot of variable options in this build. If you have any questions about the build, make sure to ask them as well, because I get that sometimes it gets confusing and that for certain scenarios you want to know exactly what to do. But this is where I'm going to leave it for the Ezreal build. And yeah, any questions again, make sure to ask them in the comments below. And now let's get right into the gameplay section. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I'm playing Ezreal, obviously, into a Zac, which is most of the time a favorable matchup for Ezreal, if you do know how to play it. Because the thing with Ezreal against Zac is, Ezreal's E pretty much counters out Zac's ultimate and Zac's E, if you time it correctly, and you can also get out of his, like, auto attacks that he knocks you together, if you just use your E correctly. So there's a lot of counter mechanics that Ezreal has into a Zac, if you do it right. Plus, he's a melee range champion, which makes it even harder for him to actually, like, get close to you. You'll most likely, like, half HP him before he can even touch you, especially early game, because early game he does no damage at all. So you should be really good, like, fine at that point. Right here, you start red buff on Ezreal pretty much every game to look for, like, some early pressure. I noticed that the Zac started his top side, like, that's just by looking at lanes and when they get back into, like, when they get into lane. And then you can just judge wherever he started. And as soon as he started topside, I knew his blue was going to be up, and then I could just take red, take blue, and then just go bot lane to get a free gank in. This is the really key thing about Ezreal. You always have to get that early gank in as best you can, because this gank right here... Let me just go back a little bit here. Right, I killed his blue buff. I went from my red to his blue because I paid attention to where he started. He started either his red buff or the Wraith camp. I am going to just go from the fact that he probably started his own red buff. Now, all I have to do then is just go bot lane and also at the same time punish him for not having the, like, not having done his blue. I could have done the same type of thing the other way around and then just clear upwards and invade him on his red buff or gank top lane or something like that, but I decided that just putting bot behind is, like, it's a big thing. If you put bot behind like this, they used all of their summoners. Their bot lane has nothing left. Plus, it's a Kog'Maw, which is not the strongest early game, and Triss is definitely a bit stronger than Kog'Maw, so I just gave my Triss pretty much the game. Like, it's such a massive lead that you give to your AD carry by doing something like this, or any lane for that matter. So this is really the key thing about Ezreal that you want to be doing every single game. Put one lane behind really early on. Now, I'm predicting Zac is probably like around his blue somewhere or something, I don't know. But what I'm just hoping here is that my blue is still up, and it actually is still up, which is a really big mistake on Zac's part. As soon as you see the enemy jungler bot lane like that, like, you should for sure be taking his other side of the jungle. Like, take his top side if he's bot lane, because there's no way I would have been been bot that fast if I took my own blue buff. So you have to take that into account, and you have to remember that as well. Now right here, it's just a simple gank of Shen is overextended, and then we can just pick up a free kill. He didn't ward chat, which is strange a little bit, but yeah, it's what it is, man. Alright, here I'm just looking to get some jungle camp farm. The thing with Ezreal and farming your jungle camps is he's kind of slow at it. Sure, like, as you can see, I'm doing the Gromp really fast right now, but that's just this is pretty much Ezreal's best camp. Ezreal does not have any AoE damage, which means that it takes him longer to do camps like Wolves. Wolves isn't bad, but it takes him really long to do camps like Raptors and Krugs. So most of the time, like most games in the early game, I try to avoid them a little bit more and just try to go for invades on the enemy jungle camps, like take his Wolves, take his Gromp, take both Scuttle Crabs, but most of all, I look to gank and just push the wave with my lane to get a little bit of CS like that way, and get my gold by just getting the kill on the laner. Now right here, Shen is pretty much overextended again, and I can just come back to gank him one more time. This does cost Malphite his life, but I am most likely going to be able to get the kill here. I'm flashing to the side, mostly because I was trying to get the extra Q on the Shen. He was walking like behind his minions really well, which makes it quite hard for me to land my Q, and in that situation, I could have, like, got taunted maybe. I'm not sure when it was up, so I just flashed to the side to make sure that I could dodge, like, a taunt if he wanted to use it, and then at that same point, like, deal extra damage to him by hitting my Q. Or at least getting a chance to hit my Q. Now right here, I have 1200 gold, which is probably gonna result in, like, a red smite with, like, boots and a longsword, or, like, a longsword, whatever I had. The main thing you want to get early on is the red smite on Ezreal, because red smite and red buff together, especially, is a really big burn. Like, that does so much burn damage, but red smite on its own already does a lot of burn damage. Red smite is just insane. Like, it's pretty much an exhaust and an ignite in one ability, and it's a 60-second cooldown, pretty much. Like, you don't... There's nothing better than that, really, especially for Ezreal. Like, you definitely want to get it. Now, right here, I just kind of cut over the wall. I guess I walked past the ward or something. Actually, I don't even know. But I'm probably walked past the ward or something. They spotted me, so, yeah. Alright, I just saw Zac get a kill on the TF in mid lane, so he's probably around here somewhere. At this point, I am definitely strong enough to fight the Zac, so if he definitely wants to fight me, he will lose. The reason I'm much stronger and it's much easier for me to fight him right now is because I have Red Smite and a Longsword, whilst he does not have anything because he hasn't backed yet. But since Lulu showed up, then I decided I guess I didn't want to fight him. Now, this, as you can see, this camp takes ages, man. This is fucking stupid. I don't have anything else to do right now, so that's pretty much the only reason I'm clearing this camp. You kind of want to try to avoid this a little bit more, but sometimes you just have no choice. Like, this camp took me like a solid 10 seconds or some shit. But I'm pretty much waiting for my red buff to spawn, kind of, and then also I just can do some crocs here. Like, this is the point of the game where I don't have really anything to gank because bot lane backed, mid lane backed, and I'm way too far away from top lane that you might as well farm these camps, right? So you kind of have to think about it like that. Is there nothing else for me to do? Then I might as well just farm these camps because it does take a long time, as you can see. It takes a long time to do these camps. Now here I decided my red buff spawned. I was doing the crocs. It's not worth finishing all those small crocs, really. So I just cleared a big one, let it reset, take my red buff, and then look for like the invade on the blue again to retake the buff. It's always something you kind of want to look for, is to get back to the scene of the crime whilst you took his buff earlier. Go back there as soon as it spawns, take it again. This is how you stay on top of getting your lead and making sure that they won't be able to get a blue buff. Now Lux is top, Zac is top, which means free blue buff for me right here. I figured he would go top lane since TF just ulted top lane, so that was even safer for me to actually just walk into the jungle and go for it. Now right here, a bot lane is really weak. As you can see, he's level 5 and level 4 against 2 level 5s. I mean, not sure on the experience on them, but they just recently recalled, so they will probably walk around here somewhere. And for that reason, I'm like, alright, let me just stay around bot lane. I just took the blue buff, and then I just wait for them to walk here, and then we just kill them. Because they're not in turret range yet here, so I will have a long time to actually hit them for free. Which means I can get a lot of damage off and pretty much force an instant back again. And by forcing that instant back again, we get first turret bot lane pretty much, and then we also just put them even further behind. So right here, I'm just waiting for them to show up. Like, there he is, and then all I gotta do is just go on him. He loses already half his HP from just one QE and an auto attack. Then I just ult him, because Shen was gonna ult him, but I just ulted right here to do as much damage as possible, as fast as possible. And then we just get first turret and double kill. This pretty much means that bot lane is completely over, because Tristana is so far ahead in gold right now. 700 gold ahead at 8 minutes in game is massive. That's like 20 AD if you would buy 2 longswords. That's big. So that's a really good lead for her right now. We also have bot turret, so the most likely call right now is to put bot lane in top. And then I will go top lane with them as well, and then take top turret in the same time. So yeah. Wait, why am I not following myself? Now, right here, I have my warrior enchant, which is a really big power spike. It gives you a lot of damage. The value of buying a warrior enchant for just the amount of gold it costs is really effective, because you get so much AD out of it. So, yeah, with the warrior enchant and the red smite, plus a red buff, I am pretty much unbeatable in any 1v1 situation. I also deal way too much burn damage, which is just kind of insane. Alright, here, pick up a blue. Really, the thing I'm looking for right now here is to go top lane with my bot. So, right here, Trist is top lane, they swapped lanes. I am in the top side. I decided not to clear that because there was a fight going on here. Trist kills the Shen here, which is good. Now all I have to do here is push with my Trist to get this turret down, and then Malphite should just go bot lane. This is a really easy way to get some map control. Just get your bot really ahead, and especially if you have like a Tristana, who's really good at just pushing turrets, you can just do this here. Look at the amount of damage I deal to the Zac. Like, that was some crazy damage. I pretty much one-shot him, which is just stupid. Like, this early on. Alright, that kind of sucks, though. Tristana actually dies because of Shen teleport on the thing. The dive wasn't that smart. We should have finished his turret off in this specific situation. I'm not sure why I didn't, or why we didn't. I guess I kind of got Zac passive, so I was like, I guess I might as well just finish him off or something. I didn't take Shen's teleport into account, probably. That's probably what happened there. But there, as you just saw... Oh, actually, you probably didn't see because it wasn't really fully on me, I think. Right here, I figured that the Zac would be recalling. So I was like, alright, just go over, EQ him. Probably enough damage. Wasn't enough damage, but he does still go in. I just flash his W, and then I just Q him once and he dies. Because he has no passive. It's an easy, like, pick off. Now here, I'm recalling right here. I'm not, like, wasting any time walking anywhere else, because I have a Lux that is a real risk, so I'm just hoping that the recall succeeds. And it did, so that's good for me. Now at this point I am building into my Duskblade. I am doing really well in the early game. I'm getting a few kills, which means that I will be snowballing a little bit harder, so for that reason I can go with Duskblade into this team. But usually if I wasn't this far ahead, or I wasn't doing too hot in the early game, I wouldn't buy Duskblade this specific game, because they have 2 tanks, which makes Duskblade not that effective. You might as well just go for a Triforce Rush into a Bladed Rune King, but yeah. This game I'm doing pretty well, so I can abuse the Duskblade power and, like, get some massive damage in. Right here I hit my Q, proc my Storm Raiders, but the thing is Malphite just body blocked me, as you saw right there. Like right here, I just go back a little bit. Speed up a tiny bit. Right here, this guy throws a blue card on this guy, which is kind of annoying. But right here, I have Storm Raiders, but I cannot get through the Malphite, so I missed the other Q. That other Q would have hit. I'm not sure what I'm doing right here. I think I'm just, like, not wanting to get hit by that, which makes no sense. But he body blocked me, so Lux actually got away. Alright, this is a iffy fight. I mean, my ultimate pretty much chunks all of them really hard right there, and I have a lot of damage right now, so I'm definitely looking to fight this, but... Alright, that was a really stupid mistake. The thing I did wrong there, specifically, is I actually used my E. I should not have used my E to do anything there. I should have just stayed on a little bit of range and just kept using my Q and auto attacks where I could. Because as soon as I use my E, Zac has his ultimate that can just fuck me up. And if I have my E and Zac ults me, then nothing happens. Well, like he misses, if you know what I mean. It's like a Blitzcrank hook interaction. He hooks you, but he doesn't really hook you. That's the thing with Ezreal E against Zac ult, or like Zac E, or anything like that. So it's a misplay on my part there. I should not have died. I should have just stayed on a little bit of range and actually used my range to poke them down a little bit more. That would have been more effective, but hey. Right, at this point, I think I'm just looking to get myself some farm. Yeah. I think I was maybe waiting for like a dragon to respawn or something with that camp, because I wouldn't see why else I would do the entire camp. Yeah. I was waiting for like a dragon opportunity, I suppose. Alright, we pick up a dragon here. Ocean Dragon's actually a really solid dragon to pick up like as a first dragon. It's a really good early dragon. Oh. Because it gives your laners a lot of sustain in like poke damage and all that. So if it's like a first dragon Ocean, you might as well actually pick it up. Right here I see the Lux. I decided to just go for Lux. As you can see, the amount of damage I deal to her with just one Q. One Q did probably about 25% of her health bar. Now she does get a Shen ult on her, but it doesn't really matter. My Q pretty much procs the entire Shen ult off him and then just kill her for free. Get a nice new blue buff, and then here I just go over the wall, I think, where... Oh, my E is on cooldown. Yeah, okay, with my E on cooldown there's not much I can do, but still here. I have red buff on my Qs, and I hit him with it a couple times. Wasn't enough, though. Did get him really low, however. Right here, I think we just look to push this bot turret down. We just won a team fight pretty hard. Shen has no ultimate, he used it right there. So, just get a free bot turret here. Always, like, try to shoot your W. I'm not sure what I'm doing right here. If you shoot your W this way, you can speed up their attack speed a little bit, and also give yourself more attack speed by giving yourself more passive stacks. Because here, as you can see, increased my attack speed, and yeah, the more stacks you have, the more attack speed you get from it, so the faster you kill turrets. Right, not sure what that is actually. That is pretty weird. What does the Lulu what does Lulu do? Alright, what does it actually do? She's right here. She just decides to like walk up and int or something. Okay, okay, Lulu, whatever. Zac goes in as well, which is really strange. Like, there's not much for him to get here. He does get the ult off, actually. Ooh, I'm low. Do I look to turn this? I could turn this. I could literally just one-shot him. Right, I did look to turn this, but... Okay, I got sniped by Lux. That's a real well-placed ultimate, gotta say. I just used my E here, and then she pretty much placed it perfectly to a point where I couldn't get out. I don't have tier 2 boots, so my movement speed is really lacking in that front. I think with tier 2 boots, that was the only way I could have actually gotten out of that situation. And yeah, it didn't happen for me this time around. She placed that really well, gotta admit. She still dies for it. Mid lane, not bad. I have my Duskblade now, and now my damage, if you use it correctly, because with Duskblade, you have to remember that you have to stay out of vision range from the enemy in order for it to proc. So if you want to get the damage increase, you have to be out of vision range, and that's why you might see me. Wait, I remember this actually. Alright, let me just go back for you guys. This is funny. Alright, I'm like right here. I was like, okay, they're doing this red buff. It is a Twisted Fate, and it is a Malzahar. So I'm like, alright, red buff definitely not the best on you guys. So I'm like, alright, let me just try to snipe this real quick. A red buff on Ezreal is real busted. I'm like, okay, I'll just shoot my ultimate. I saw about the HP. I was like, this could happen. So right here, just passes by, gets the free red buff. And I'm like, thanks boys. Thanks for the red buff. Alright, well, that's one way to do it, of course. There are plenty of times where if you have vision on like the enemy red or blue, or like mainly the enemy blue buff, if you have vision on that, and you have a ward on it, and the jungler tries to give it to the mid laner, with Ezreal you can easily snipe it away, because the jungler is never gonna actually smite it, so if it hits like 1000 HP, you can just shoot it, or like 1500, you can just shoot it, depending on how far away you are from it, you can just shoot it, and then you literally just pick it up for free every time, if you do have it warded. Right there, actually, what happened? I missed a little bit. Talking about this red buff play. Alright, here. We see a Lulu. She walks up. She, like, my Duskblade damage did about 45 to 50% of her health bar just from that Duskblade Q. I don't have a Sheen yet, which makes me deal a lot less damage with that single Q. Ooh, I think this looks pretty grim. I don't think I survived this one. Do I survive this one? Huh, I actually do survive. Oh, no. Died to the same thing again, boys. Alright, well, Lux placed her ultimate well, I suppose. This Lulu took a lot of damage, but we shouldn't have chased her over this wall. That was a really stupid mistake. I'm not sure why I did it. I guess I just got kind of greedy for the kill or some shit. I don't know. At this point, I'm making a little bit too many mistakes. This is the second time I've died, but just straight E-ing into the enemy team. That's something you always should avoid, by the way. Don't E into the enemy team like that. That's really just not worth. Pretty much you gotta remember like this, your E is your escape tool, so use it as an escape tool. Learn from your mistakes, don't die like me. Fuck my life. Right here I pick up a red buff again. I have a Duskblade right now, so I'll deal a lot of damage. If I spot anyone, they're just pretty much guaranteed to die. Dragon's respawning in a minute, so I think I'm looking for that. I'm not sure what dragon this is. Not sure if I can even check on this thing. Can I check? I don't think so. Alright, just smite the blue buff here. See, right there, that play right there is how you cancel out your, is like Zac ult with your E. So that was what I was waiting for with my E for that Zac ult before I actually did anything. Now here, I am just trying to stay as far back as possible, just hit some Qs. There was not much to do for me in this fight here. It's a pretty bad fight for our team. So I was like, alright, just play it back and just accept the fact. Oh boy. Alright, man. Sure. Why? Like, I'm looking back at these plays, and I'm like, what went on in my head? Did I really think I was gonna get away with that real save? Probably not, but I don't know. The only thing I do remember of this game is that it was after, like, playing already, like, 16, 17 games that day. So I was like, maybe a bit tired or something, I don't know. But this was really stupid. Don't, like, again, just the same mistake. Like, the same simple core mistake. Do not E into your enemy team. Use it as an escape tool. Right there, if I just simply went for the Lux instead of the Kokma, I probably would have killed the Lux. Like, just simply thinking about it. Oh, wait, this is probably actually an Infernal... Wait, I don't understand. Whatever. It's a Disc Dragon, it's not that worth it, so I'm just like, yeah, just give up the dragon, don't pick this fight, I'll just go top side, you know? Tristana is also like top lane, so why would we even fight near this dragon or over this dragon? It's not that worth it of a dragon. But apparently TF is actually winning this. Is he? No, he's not. Ooh. My ult did get the Lulu, but it nearly killed the Zac, it was really close on that one. But right here, I'll have my Duskblade with my Sheen. So right now, any type of Q I hit on the enemy, I'm not sure if you can see it right here, but any type of Q I hit on the enemy will do like half of their HP. If they're like squishy targets, like a Kokma, one Q will do half their health. Right here, I think I was just looking for the Zac, because I figured he'd be recalling. I saw him recalling on like one of the wards, the way he had vision. Just get some mid farm. Their red buff is respawning soon, and I'm guessing I'm gonna go for it. Over the dragon? Yeah, probably, yeah. There we go. This dragon, like the Cloud Dragon, is really the least worth it. Because, like, it gives you some movement speed out of combat. Which, I mean, it's nice if you're rotating with your team very well and everyone listens correctly. But in solo queue, it's kind of iffy. So this is the least worth it dragon. I don't really value it that high over like a red buff or something like that for a little bit of time. So that's why I just go for it. But I guess they didn't, like my team really wants to go for it, so I just walked down now to be there for the team fight. TF walks up a little far, gets hit by Zac. Didn't get caught though, because Zac didn't ult him. If Zac ulted TF, that would have been like a free kill. Fight going on here. I'm still like coming in from the side. I just shoot my ultimate, kill Zac with it. He teleports again on the Zac blob to save him. Like, these Qs right here, this is where you can see I deal a serious amount of damage. This guy dies. Alright, I just go back and slow it down a little bit. On me this time. Alright, just a little bit faster. Right here. Right here, that Q deals like that amount of damage to the Lux HP bar, which is pretty crazy. Now right here, all I have to do is stand in a little bit of range and actually keep using my Q. Like, I will hit, like, the Kokma here, he loses that much HP as well from just one Q. Then I go over, because Kokma, I saw Tristana's ult fly. Like, you see her animation, so I saw her fly. I was like, okay, I gotta do as much damage as I possibly can whilst red smiting him and having red buff. And that he will die to, like, a bomb or burn damage. And that's what happens to Kokma. As soon as Kokma dies in this enemy team, they won't really have any damage left. Because Lux is a one burst type of champion, and Shen and Zac don't really deal too much damage. So, if you focus that Kokma down, it is really good. And I positioned my E this way, so I was out of this type of fight right here. And then I could actually get some free damage on the Kokma without getting engaged upon. Now here all I have to do is just chase the Lulu down. Like this Duskblade proc did a serious amount of damage to her right there. Does she get out? Looks like she gets out, but this Shen, like... I flashed the Zac thing because I really do not want to get hit by that, by like a Zac thing into his Shen taunt. Shen uses his ult. I think right here I just killed a Lux, right? Yeah, Lux walks up. I just EQ her and she's dead. I think at this point I just win the rest of the fight. Just go like E over the wall or something. Just chase him. Yeah, Lulu dies. Okay, cool. What am I looking for? I'm probably looking for like a Zac. I think he's gonna be recalling somewhere like that. Because there's not really else... another... Yeah, I hit the Q. There, he's dead. Like, there wasn't really any way else for him to run, so... You know? Alright, right there, I might as well pick up the dragon, I suppose. Like, it's here. We've been fighting over it for a while now, for some reason. Like, the dragon is actually not really worth it, but, you know. It's an objective you might as well pick up. At this point, I have 2800 gold, which is pretty much my Triforce. And as soon as you get your Triforce Power Spike on Ezreal, you start becoming a monster. Wait, did that Kokma really just try that? Alright, I need to check this. Can I, like... Okay, F3. This was literally just Kokma. Oh my god. If that guy stopped my back right here... Look at this. If this guy actually stopped my back with that, he would have died. Like, all I had to do on him was EQ and he was pretty much dead. I think I wasn't paying attention because I would have probably gone for it. Or maybe I just assumed that there would be like a Lulu or a Lux behind him, which would have been really risky for me to fight that. But just Kokma, he would have died. Like, for anyone that's playing like a role, like another role into like an Ezreal jungle, and he is kind of fat, like I am with this game, please be aware to 1v1 him. Like, you don't win that. Just an FYI. Pick up a red buff here. My Q's right now deals so much damage. I can just look for any fight and probably win it if I position myself correctly. The enemy blue is also spawning soon. I'm probably looking for that, but... Oh, there's a fight going on here. I just shoot my ultimate. Half HP deluxe from just one ult, which is pretty good. Look at that damage, boys. Look at that damage. Alright, let me just look at the damage again. That was beautiful. That's the Duskblade Sheen proc with the Q. Lulu dies right there. I shoot my ultimate to hit Lux. I see a Kokma here. Right now, I'm still out of vision range of the thing, so I have my Duskblade proc, and then he was full HP. 1 EQ. Boom. 20% left. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. No. Yep. Ooh, that plant was an interesting hit. I think I could have abused that a bit more. Let me follow myself again. All we have to do right now is just push the turret. We have time to push this turret. Plus, I have a Triforce, which means that... Alright, here in this situation, I see Zac charging up here. Wait, did I put him back to blue? There we go. Right here, this is my point of view. Like, I see him barely in vision trying to charge me. All I have to do right here is just wait. Because as soon as he leaps onto me, I'll have E to dodge it. So I just keep hitting turret. For as long as possible until he actually uses it, as you can see. Right, he jumps now, and then I E out of it. Go backwards, and then look to hit the turret again afterwards. My E has a lower cooldown than his jump, so I can just keep doing that. Especially if I Q something, because then my cooldown goes down by a second. Right here, I'm pretty sure this is up, so I go for it. Like it spawned earlier. TF actually thinks he's gonna get this blue buff from me. I don't think I give it to him, do I? Oh wow, I actually do give it to him. Or maybe I didn't try to give it to him. Like in this specific situation, he has 8 deaths. He is pretty much inting every fight. Like, he's been pulling blue cards all game instead of gold cards and all that. And, like, if I really want to sustain fights and win them, I should definitely get a blue buff. But I guess I just fucked up on trying to get it. Maybe I didn't want to use my smite or some shit, I don't know. Right here, the next item I should definitely be going for this game is a Bladed Rune King. It is a really big buy into, like, a double tank team. Because... obviously, Bladed Rune King gives you all that extra damage against tanks. Plus, it also gives you some lifesteal, which at the same time gives you sustain in like fights and all that. And it also gives you the active to help slow and kite the enemy, which is really nice against the Shen Zac because they're really like they have a lot of mobility to try and get on you. Right here, all I have to do is stay to the side and just throw a couple Qs. Try to make sure that I don't overextend too much and just deal as much damage as possible. Right there, get a double kill. Kokma doesn't run for me, but I still want to try to get out of this situation because Shen could actually kill me right here. I'm not sure if he flashes after me or not. He doesn't have his flash up, so I don't think he will. All I have to do right here is I'm just going to stay and just use my Duskblade procs with Qs to actually get some of it. Lux tries to snipe me this time, but she fails. Now, that's nothing for me to do right here. This is just a stay back type of situation and try to hit with as many Qs as possible to maybe, like, deal some damage or get a kill eventually. Hit the Duskblade on him again. I should just hit the Shen. He's quite low now, so if he does chase this, he's gonna die. Yeah, Shen actually just made a... I'm not sure why he even did that. At the point he got that low and hit by my ultimate, he should know that I'm around there. So if Malphite walks back towards me, that Shen should never go for that play. So that's a questionable move on his part, but hey. Tristana kills the Zac, which is good. We can then soonish look for the Baron. I think if the Malphite just teleports up, we can just Baron. But we're chasing someone here. Okay, we're chasing Lux. Right there, Lux's ult animation has some time, so I was like, alright, fuck it. Just go in. She has, like, no HP, so you just go in, and then you just E her. It's faster animation, so you'll kill her before she gets her ult off. Now here, this is pretty much just free Baron. Wait for Malphite to get in the pit before I jump in. I don't want to be taking the damage, because then I will also deal reduced damage. I mean, there's nothing they can do. I can just pick this up for free. I hit 1 Q on the Kokma, by the way, right there. Let's go back one bit, just to show you guys see it in slow motion, this Baron. all I gotta do is position myself, like, close enough to Kokma to where, like, so that I can hit him with, like, a Q or anything. So right here. We see him now. And then as soon as, like, he walks up a little bit, I shoot a Q on him right here. And this Q deals that much damage with Duskblade. Like, this guy fucking... That must have hurt, dude. Half his HP, even more probably. 60% of his HP from one Q. That's insane. Now at this point, Malphite has his ultimate. All he has to do is just go over. I remember this bit. I was like, he's not going, he's not going, he's not going. Alright, fuck it, flash over the wall. My Q deals way too much damage. I just E in even closer. And just win the fight by myself, pretty much. This Malphite had ult ready. Not sure why he didn't go. Like, if he literally just ulted to Lulu, that would have been even freer, but hey. E out. I have 2,500 gold, which is pretty much exactly my Blade of Rune King, because I think at this point it costs like 2550 or something. So I should be able to pick it up right here. Yep, Blade of Rune King. That's a really big power spike against our team, because at this point it means that Zac and Shen won't be dealing much at all, and especially once I finish the next item I would get in this build, like any type of Flawless Whisper here, probably the Lord Dominic's this game, then they would not be anything, and I could just help peel, and then maybe even dive the Kokma if it comes to it, but hey. Diving the Kokma with Duskblade for that with a Triforce, so literally just one Q and we'll lose half his HP bar, especially if I'm this far ahead. Which is usually not that difficult on Ezreal, because you can abuse this early, scaling into mid, scaling into late, like he doesn't really have a weak stage. I guess maybe his mid game before you get like Triforce or something after a Duskblade, but even still, like as soon as you have Duskblade with Sheen, you still have the massive power spike. There's really not a chance you get the 1v1 in Ezreal that easily. So here, I speed it up again. I mean, at this point we can literally just push with Baron to finish. But yeah, this early game right here... Oh, actually I probably like saw a Zac somewhere, so it's like I might as well pick up a free kill or something, I don't know. Push the bot wave in, the massive wave, give a Baron to it. But my team already won the fight here, so they just end the game. Yeah, that's pretty much the game. So this big game, all you have to take away from this game is just... Make sure to keep a lot of pressure on the early game. What I did this game, I... started red buff. I noticed that he started his top side. Always look at where he started, so you know your game plan. Because if I start red buff and he starts blue buff, I can clear upwards. I can do like a really fast red wolves blue and still get in time to catch him on his red, or maybe just about done with his red buff. But at that point, you're gonna have a 1v1 with Ezreal, and you're not really gonna lose that. The only reason you could lose that is if both their laners react, and then you get like your laners don't, and then you just die 3v1. That could happen, but usually you'll have some reaction from your laners as well, or just kill the enemy jungler before even anything happens, because you have that much burst damage. So that's what I did, looked at this game, where he started, so I abused that. I went red to his blue to gank bot lane, to put them behind, burn all of their all of their summoners, and then I just kept returning to like bot lane a little bit later on, double kill them, get bot turret, and then as soon as my bot lane rotated top, I will rotate with them to put even more pressure and get the top turret down. And then just keep rotating with your bot lane that way, and just keep putting pressure, 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 and that's how you just win games with Ezreal really easily. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed this guide. If you learned anything from it, please do make sure to hit the thumbs up below and share it around with friends that might want to see this. And if you're deciding to play Ezreal, you're gonna have a lot of fun with him right now to end the season off with. You're gonna probably get a lot of free elo with him, and yeah, I just hope you guys get to wherever you want to get with ranked. And see you guys in the next video. Bye!